Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel and the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. This is the November 5th edition of Superstars of Wrestling in 1994. We've got one more of these to add to the almost 250 or so that are here. November 5th, of course, is about less than a month away from the Survivor Series back then, one of the main four pay-per-views, fifth pay-per-view added in 1990. Well, actually, one of the main five, as the King of the Ring was added in 1993. So, anyway, this is the announcement of the world champion Bret Hart has accepted Bob Backlund's challenge for the submission match, Survivor Series, including comments from Chuck Norris regarding his participation in the Undertaker Yokozuna the casket match as special referee. Also featuring a vignette of IRS in a graveyard, during which IRS repossessed a recently deceased person's headstone because they hadn't paid their taxes. And that includes Vince McMahon from the broadcast booth conducting a interview with the Smoking Guns regarding their match with Bam Bam Bigelow and Tatanka the following week. Certainly, kind of a weak point for the for the time period. Tatanka with Ted DiBiase defeating Billy Gunn 6:19 after Bam Bam Bigelow interfered and shoves Gunn off the top rope, and after the bout, Tatanka and Bigelow double team Gunn until Bart makes the save. For the time period, this is probably one of the better matches you're going to get on Superstars. Superstars mainly squashes, and certainly the Guns here, kind of in a interesting run. Billy Gunn, of course, at the time, still the super green to national competition, starting out wrestling in 1991, getting hired by the WWF sometime midpoint 1993, arm ringers, arm bars. Tatanka at the time. Tatanka as a heel certainly starts to bloat up a little bit. Does not keep the best physical condition for himself, as it were. Some hard shots, and Tatanka certainly taking some good bits. Tatanka also managing to get some Irish whiffs together, and ultimately a couple of tackles along the way, and kind of going in that general direction. Tatanka low bridging the benefit of Billy Gunn over the top rope using the ropes, and Tatanka gets a near fall. Also gets his Samoan drop, does not win. Of course, Ted DiBiase still managing Tatanka after his turn around SummerSlam time on Lex Luger. And lots of near falls. Again, 6-minute match at the time, pretty big deal on a syndicated television program. That doesn't bar us from heavy chin locks and other basic maneuvers. Not exactly your greatest of situations. At one point, there's a miscommunication, and Billy Gunn manages to fall before Tatanka actually hits the chop that he is going for. Chop over the top rope. They brawl to the outside. Bam Bam Bigelow interferes. Bigelow, as mentioned, beats down Mr. Gunn pretty quickly, and ultimately they continue to beat him up post-match there. And DiBiase calls for more until Bart Gunn makes the save. Obviously, the Guns, Bigelow, and Tatanka the following week. Survivor Series report, it has been made official that Bret Hart and Bob Backlund will face off in a submission match at the time. That match has 2 seconds. The British Bulldog is Bret Hart second. Owen Hart is Bob Backlund second. The idea, the seconds, providing the service of throwing in the towel in this submission match. One guy calling the match as needed. Duke Droese is kind of moving into an enhancement match here. Not exactly the wrestler of the year by any stretch of the imagination. Droese, of course, almost a dare on McMahon to hire as he kind of goes into. He beats Barry Hardy with a sidewalk slam after the bout. Bob Backlund appears and locks Hardy in the crossface chicken wing until Droese returns to the ring and makes a save. Moments later, Droese turns his back and Backlund hits him with the crossface chicken wing. Backlund really being put over as crazy at the time. A couple of weeks ahead of his Survivor Series championship win transition onto Diesel. Not quite sure where Diesel becomes the guy, but big power slam by Drosy, side suplex, and before getting attacked by Backlund. And Backlund, a pretty major deal there. Talk of the live events area, and they are showing stars marching down the streets in freedom parades and all this. Also, work with kids and all of that. Diesel is up next. Diesel, of course, your tag team champion, having lost his singles championship, but Diesel kind of getting over as a babyface in some markets. So that turn does come later in November, and had been getting over as a babyface since about November. Shawn Michaels not out with him at first. Diesel obviously hits a couple of punches, kicks, and shrugs his opponent, who in this case happens to be, I think, Gary Scott. Let me just double check there. But sidewalk slam and a power bomb. Diesel in clear control of his of his deal there, and ultimately kind of getting a pretty good run, power bomb and other such, by the nature of the win. And of course, Diesel, not wanting to go backwards by any stretch of the imagination, he continues to be rolling along into his championship run, and basic thing there. Then we move to Diesel post-match. There's a hype promo for Chuck Norris, and then we go into another enhancement match. Not a big surprise. Diesel actually hits a couple of power bombs on his man, almost a la like a Sid. Doink and Dink are out next. Of course, they're going for the Jerry Lawler and Doink feud, continuing for several months, ending with the, for lack of a better term, interesting run with the midgets, Dink, Wink, and Fink, all with Doink, and Phil Apollo is Doink's opponent. Doink getting a few arm drags, arm bars, and eventually the whoopee cushion top rope splash. Not anything to write home about there. 213 in total in put into that match contest, and so kind of there in a, I guess you'd say, a pretty assertive way. Anyway, Doink and his little buddies are all on the same page. A Survivor Series hype for Jarrett's team, or Shawn Michaels' team, the Teamsters, and the bad guys. Bad guys basically promised to get rid of Michaels' team. I was never a fan of the Survivor Series 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 concept. I thought it was a wasted pay-per-view. Big match, though. Yokozuna, who Jim Cornette continues to say they should not say the word casket. Paul Bearer and The Undertaker promised to bury Yokozuna once and for all. Bearer using a very big urn. Another vignette from IRS, removing the headstones and basically saying that even if you're dead, you got to pay taxes. And that is a basic rule in the U.S. Big time reason why a lot of people consider the U.S. a bit of a political joke worldwide, but that's a whole different story for a whole different conversation. Anyway, IRS out here. He is in a squash match here with Andre Ferguson, 114, right off clothesline. Punches, kicks, suplex, body slams, and IRS gets a relatively quick victory. We will close on that note, and we'll be back with more right after this.